Hello, welcome again to another presentation of the Solid Sports Video Blog. This is episode 22, and today's date is August 25th, 2017. Thank you so much for joining me, Solid Day Assassin. Of course, my name is Troy West. Thanks to all my subscribers as always. Thanks for all the support the last few weeks. Had a lot of people been subscribing and commenting, so I just want to say I appreciate it as always. Big weekend for sports fans. Of course, today's Friday. I usually do my blogs on Saturday, but I'm going to be busy this weekend with my twin nieces, and then the sports weekend is so huge as well. So it's just a big weekend for everything. Still NFL preseason, which is the third week, so really the fourth week, but the third week that everybody play. The starters play most of the time, so this would be like real football this week. Of course, the big fight, of course, Mayweather McGregor. Little under 48 hours away from that. Been a lot of interesting things been coming out of both camps this week. Of course, still the big trade with Kyrie, so I'm going to talk about that. And of course, it's still baseball season, so a lot of stuff going on this weekend. The Big Three, which is a basketball league, started by Ice Cube, of course. I talk a lot about that on my blogs, but I've really enjoyed that. The championship is tomorrow as well, so a lot of big things going on, especially in the city of Las Vegas this weekend in the world of sports. So but yeah, like I said, my topics today, of course, I touch on a little baseball, Kyrie trade, some NFL talk. I listed my top 5 defenses, I think, going into the season, and just other stuff off the field, like more players starting to protest, and just overall preseason. And of course, I touch on the Mayweather-McGregor fight. But of course, we'll start with baseball as always. I always try to start with baseball just to make sure I get it in. Races, some of the races getting tight, especially the wild card races in both leagues. Of course, it was the American League, pretty much the whole league still have a chance to make the playoffs. National League was a little bit more clear cut, but now if you look at the standings now, especially in the wild card, it was Arizona and Colorado running away with the wild card, but now teams has creeped up. Milwaukee went outshot pretty much the whole Central. Pittsburgh Pirates, St. Louis Cardinals. So just a lot to be lot going on in the National League. Just starting to get a little bit tighter. So check that out. It should be, like I said, about a month and a half left of the season. As far as with the divisions, of course, the Dodgers just won their 90th game yesterday. So that's huge for them. In the Central, of course, the Cubs pulled away a little bit. And then the East, of course, is still Washington. They got a couple of injuries now, though. In DC, so still those 3 teams probably definitely a sure wins. Like I said, the wild card is getting more interested in the National League. In the American League, of course, in the East, Boston pulled away a little bit from the Yankees. And in the Central, of course, the Indians, they got a couple of bumps of injuries, but they pulled away a little bit. And of course, in the West, it's always been Houston. But like I said, the American League wild card is wide open. It's probably like 8 or 9 teams vying for those 2 wild card spots. I think right now it's the Yankees and the Twins, probably the 2 top wild cards in the American League. But it's only like, I think between like 6 or 7 teams, they like 2 or 3 games out. So baseball definitely getting interesting. Of course, still a long way to go. Of course, gotta get this in there. I'm an Orioles fan. Zach Britton lost his save streak at 60. I think he saved 60 straight games. That was broken by Oakland. I think it was Wednesday. So a lot of things still going on in baseball. Of course, baseball about to start being ignored for a while. All the NFL is coming, of course. NBA starts early this year because of what they did with the schedule. So baseball to me don't get interested to the playoffs. It's just more intense. I watch regular season games here and there, but I pretty much just follow it from afar. I watch, of course, my local team, the Orioles. They on every day, and sometimes I watch some of the national televised games. But I really don't get into baseball to the playoffs, which is probably going to be another great postseason this year. So that's my baseball update for the week. Let's move on to the NBA. Of course, the big trade earlier this week. I think it was on Monday. Kyrie Irving to the Celtics. I wasn't surprised about the trade itself, about Kyrie getting traded, because he wouldn't have been traded. But to Boston, I was a little bit shocked. Of course, Cleveland got back Isaiah Thomas, Jake Crowder, a center. I should have wrote the center's name down. And next year's Brooklyn's first round pick, which could be probably easily a top 5 pick at the least, because Brooklyn probably is going to have a long season again this year. Well, people always want to say who won the trade. I think both teams sort of won, but if I had to choose one, I'm gonna say Boston, because you're surely getting a all-star player, Kyrie Irving, and you improve your team. I think Cleveland did well as well by getting that draft pick for one. Isaiah Thomas is no scrub either. He's a good player. Still questions about his hip injury though. Then you get them on. The thing is, you don't know yet, because he could leave next year as well. And you know LeBron last year is this year as well. So if they don't resign Isaiah Thomas, I mean, you still got Kevin Love. You still got good pieces there that you won't be, like, if LeBron do leave, Cleveland won't be a gutter team again like they was when he left for Miami. But I think both teams sort of did well, but I would give it the slight edge to Boston, just because you know what Kyrie is. You don't know what that first round pick going to be. Like I said, the Isaiah Thomas hip injury, and well, Jay Crowder's a good player, but he's pretty much a role player, good defensive player. But you don't know what you're getting with those guys. So I give Boston a slight edge, but I think Cleveland did well in the trade. As far as the Kyrie view of it, well, the other thing, just to throw this back at Boston, I think Boston confident that he can re-sign him, or maybe sign him to an extension, but he's still only there for 2 years, so he could wind up leaving if he don't decide when to be there. I think Boston got a chance to, sway him to stand. And then Boston, he said he wanted to go to a stable organization, and Boston has a stable organization with Danny Ainge, the GM, running things. He gonna always trying to improve the team. You got young and upcoming players. They added Gordon Hayward in the offseason. I like Tatum from Duke. I like how he played in the summer league. Even though it's just summer league, you can tell he got some talent. And Jaylen Brown, going into his second year, he's going to improve. And they still got decent pieces around it. So Boston did pretty well. Now for next year, I don't think they're going to beat Cleveland. I think Cleveland's still the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. But Boston definitely gotten a little bit better. Should be entertaining. They play opening night, so which would be that's going to be hyped up, especially when we get close to it. I think October 18th is when the season starts this year, but it's early. Normally it'd be about around Halloween. So, but that's to give the players more rest and don't do as many back-to-backs and stuff. But it was just a shock to me that was Boston that he got traded to. But I wasn't shocked by the trade at all, because I think, like I said, I didn't think he was going to make it to camp. That was my opinion when he first came out and said he wanted to be traded. I just thought that I don't think he would be able to coincide with LeBron. But Cleveland made out well, and so did Boston. Should be an interesting season coming up. I'm happy. I mean, he wanted to go to a place. He's definitely the best player on that team now. So we'll see if he's able to lead. Should be interesting though. So that's it with that. Let me move on to the NFL. Of course, preseason Of course, it was 2 games last night. Of course, this is the games this week to watch your favorite team. If you want to know how your favorite team might do this season, how they look, this is the game to watch this week. Of course, it's more like a regular season game. Starters mostly play the majority of the game. I think the game was on NFL Network last night. I watched a little bit of Philadelphia, Miami. That was a pretty entertaining game. A lot of high scoring, defensive pick sixes, touchdown passes. Carson Wentz hit Torrey Smith for the 50-yard bomb. It was exciting. Jay Ajayi looks good. Jay Cutler, I give it to him. He looked sharp last night as well. But I think the other game was Jacksonville, Carolina. Of course, Cam Newton looked good in his first action since late last year. The Jaguars, I wanted to touch on that quarterback situation. Like I said, I still believe in the Jags. I think they have, like on paper, they got a talented team, young team. They're up and coming team. They just need the quarterback to produce. Of course, the coach for Jacksonville made it a competition. Right? First, it was Blake Bortles' job. Hands down, but he's struggling in the preseason. So he put the job up for competition. Both quarterbacks didn't look bad. Hiddie's got the start. He looked it okay, but my thing is Hiddie's got a ceiling already. Blake Bortles have a higher ceiling, but he just turns the ball over too much. But he didn't look too bad. He did have an interception last night. I think both quarterbacks did, I believe. Like I said, I was on the bad. Well, I don't want to call it bad, but I just thought they was going to do well last year, Jacksonville. I thought they was going to actually win the division last year. I picked them to win the division. Actually, like I said, this don't mean nothing. But speaking of man come out today. But Jacksonville was the team I used last year, man. You got 2 good receivers, and Allen Robinson, Allen Hearns on the other side. Now you got Leonard Fournette in the backfield. Your offense on defense, you got a lot of young studs. Jalen Ramsey. They got a lot of talent on defense as well. I think they got the potential to do something, but they got the quarterback situation definitely got to get better. I think they have a higher ceiling with Bortles, but I think Henne probably be more of a safe bet. But right now, you still don't know who's going to win the job because both guys looked pretty decent last night. So, but we'll see. Like I said, I'm gonna talk a little about it. My special NFL preview next Sunday, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, September 3rd. So check that out. I'll talk about all 32 teams. So definitely check that out next Sunday. As far as preseason, Odell Beckham, they played Monday night. They played the Browns. There was a lot of things going on in that game, of course. Odell Beckham almost got hurt seriously. Now they said it's sprained ankle. Now they say he might not be ready for week 1. But I think so. I mean, just seeing him walk after the game. I mean, after the injury, he seemed okay to me. I'm not a doctor, but I think he'll be ready week 1. But they're not going to rush him. That's basically what the Giants are saying. But the play itself, some people say it was the 30 play. I don't know if I'll call it a 30 play, but I guess the play just felt like if you would have let him come down with the ball, he would have probably scored, which he probably would have. There was nobody really in front of him. So he went low and almost injured him, but I don't think the intent was to hurt him or anything. I don't think it was a 30 play per se, in my opinion, but I can understand how some players will say that. But the NFL now will try to cut out percussion, so they pretty much dare you to rather go low than to go high. So, and I think the corner slipped a little bit when he tried to make the tackle too. I think he wanted to go a little bit higher. I think he slipped, and that's how he went a little bit lower. But yeah, preseason is, that's why you can't take preseason. Kind of sucks because I mean you can have a devastating injury, which would have been if you would have got hurt seriously or if you'd have tore something that'd have been really bad. But I think they should do something with the preseason. I don't know about getting rid of it. They're not going to get rid of it. That's pretty much unrealistic. There's money. Anytime there's money involved, it's almost never going to go away. So, but maybe just don't play your starters at all, like which some teams do. They don't play your starters at all during the preseason. Like I said, this is the week that you'll probably see most of the starters for all the teams. But like I said, we'll see. I'm fortunate that he did get hurt. Ain't nobody slipped to get hurt last night. I think it's a few more games tonight. I think Saturday is the big where most of the teams will play. Like I said, if you whatever fan of your team, you should watch definitely this week. If you're not a preseason person, you should watch a little bit this week. See how your team look on both sides of the ball. As far as to stay with not just that game Monday night, but the protesting, of course, the Browns made a little news as I think it was 12 players kneeled during the anthem. It's sort of a prayer circle protest, and there was one white NFL player, tight end for the Browns, that would deal with him as well. It was a big story and everything made about it, but I understand his position because he's married to a black woman, so of course it's not surprising that he definitely want equality in this country. Like I said, this country is it's wild out there right now. Like I said, racism and just discrimination, period. Not even just about racism, man. Like, people just discriminate people for smaller reasons. It don't even have to be with your race all the time. But I commend them players for taking a stand. It's something like the Dez Bryant, for example, which they talked a little bit about him this week. He came out to finish up. I don't have no problem with him either. If he, he rather do his stuff behind the scenes, his charity work and his work behind the scenes, I have no problem with that at all. If he feel like he's at work and he want to just play football, I can't knock him for that either. I don't see that him being for people going out there saying he's against black people, all this other crazy stuff people are saying. That's nonsense. He's just, he just like people got the right to protest, you got the right not to protest, and he feel like that's not the time to do it. He want to do it his way, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I commend him and all other players that might think this way. Just because you're not protesting don't mean you're against the cause, or don't mean that you are against the cause. So like I said, it's gonna be interesting. We'll see. I don't think nobody protested last night, but you'll see. If somebody protested, you'll hear about it. But I just hope for this country, period, that things get better. Of course, they had the Colin Kaepernick rally in New York City in front of the NFL office on Wednesday. It was a big turnout, but I'm not sure if it really helps Cap. Like I said, I hope Cap gets a job. I've been saying that throughout my blogs every week. Like I said, some days he did do to help himself, but still, I don't think it warrants him not being in the NFL. He's better than half the quarterbacks in the NFL still, so I think he deserved to have a job. LaShawn McCoy, which I respect, he came out and said it's more about Kaepernick not being good enough, and that might be true. There's some truth to that. Like, Kaepernick's a good quarterback, but he's not like, he's not an elite quarterback. So you still have that. If you have any wiggle room at all with your talent, that can be used as I guess you call it an excuse, or weighing it between the distraction and not having a distraction. Everybody had their opinion. I didn't, some people get big blasting him too, but I don't really have that much of a problem with what he said. I just felt like the timing is bad. And, I guess because me wanting Kaepernick to get back in the NFL, but now it's like, I guess he gives the owners now more validation. Like, well, he said, like, why can't I think that way if he can think that way? So, it's unfortunate, but, if he really believed that, I can't knock him for it. And I just hope Kaepernick gets a job. I'm starting to think more and more each day, though, that it's not going to happen. Because especially, like I said, this is the big week for games. Unless somebody get hurt, somebody significantly get hurt in one of these preseason games, they ain't going to play next week. Nobody going to play next week preseason game. Well, everybody play next Thursday. Ain't nobody playing next week. No starters. So if he don't get signed with it between now and probably, after this week games is over, say by late next week, it ain't happening. Like, I don't think he's gonna get signed at all. But I mean, it was still good for those people to stand, and protest. But like I said, I hope he gets a job, but it's gonna be tough for him. I don't think so. Starting to think he's not gonna get a job. Okay, like I said, I've been doing the top 5 every week. The top 5 this week features the NFL top defenses. I will count down from 5 to 1. This was a hard list to do as well because a lot of teams bring different dynamics to defenses. Some defenses good at getting turnovers. Some defenses just stop you completely. Some defenses have great players on it, but they're not as good statistic-wise. So I just did it by my opinion. So at number 5, I got the New York Giants. New York Giants defense. They was, I think they was in the top 5 last year. Defense. Landon Collins, led by Landon Collins. They got a good talented defense. Number 4, Kansas City Chiefs. I like they front. Taba Ali, Justin Houston, safety Eric Berry, one of my favorite players. They force a lot of turnovers. They go with big plays at crucial times. Just think they're a little bit deeper than the Giants, so that's why I gave them the number 4 spot. And number 3, Houston Texans, and they was number 1 in the league last year without J.J. Watt. Now J.J. Watt is back, and Javion Cowley is improving every snap. He's looking like a great player. I think they're going to cause havoc, and they're going to be a rough defense. Just like with Jacksonville or other teams, their quarterback situation. Their quarterback situation ain't that dire. I think they did name Todd Savage as a starter officially, so Sean Watson will start on the bench. But I think he'll get his turn. I don't know if it'll be this year or not, but Savage will turn the ball over. Houston, like I said, Houston has a chance to compete in the AFC. I definitely think the AFC South is their division to lose, but their defense is no joke. So I got them at number 3. Number 2, the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, deep, talented Richard Sherman, Michael Bennett, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas. They just got a lot of talent on the defensive side, and they just tough. They don't back down from nobody. They always come up with the big stops when they need to. Probably on paper, one of the most talented defenses in football. I always gotta give them number 2. I gotta give them props. I think they was 5th last year in defense, but before that, I think they was number 1 for like 4 straight years. And they're not gonna slow down. I'm starting to lean towards, like I said, I think I said this last week, Seattle or Green Bay. I'll probably make a decision by next week by my big preview show. But Seattle and Green Bay to me are the 2 teams in the NFC to me. And they play week 1. I really feel like the winner of that game will be the number 1 seed in the NFC. But I'm gonna have to pretty much make a decision on that by next week. So I'm gonna start doing my research. I was leaning towards Green Bay, and then now I'm starting to lean towards Seattle, especially how they looked at the preseason. So, but their defense has always been the anchor of that team, and they're gonna probably do it again this year. But number 1, probably not that much of a surprise since you didn't hear them yet. The Denver Broncos, of course, led by Von Miller. They front 7 is no joke, but I think their secondary is probably one of the tops of the league with Aqib Talib, T.J. Ward. They just got a real talented deep defense. They carry this Broncos team, especially for the last 2 years, because their quarterback situation has been a little shaky. They started Trevor Siemian won the job over Paxton Lynch. Denver as a team is sort of imperatory to me. It's like, I like Oakland in that division. Like I said, I'm gonna get into all this next week, but I wouldn't be surprised if Denver win this division just off their defense alone. They have the talent to do it. If Simeon takes sort of a step to be elite, because they got talent on offense as well. Demaryius Thomas still there. Emmanuel Sanders still there. They have talent. If they had, like I said, that's why when Peyton Manning was at the top of his game, Denver was the elite team in this league. It's just really the offense. The defense is going to show up. So that division is going to be tough, though. The AFC West with San Diego ain't going to be, well, LA. I'm sorry, I make that mistake a lot. It's LA Chargers. It's going to be good. Kansas City is going to be still right there as well. So that's the division. I still really ain't made a decision on. I like Oakland to win the division, but I mean, every time I think about the other teams, it's like, well, you know, like I said, that's why I got to really look at the team schedules and make a decision. But that's my top 5 defenses in the NFL right now. The New York Giants at number 5, Kansas City Chiefs at number 4, number 3, the Houston Texans, number 2, Seattle Seahawks, and number 1, the Denver Broncos, which has been a stout defense the last 2 years. So that's my top 5 NFL defensives. Of course, big show next week. Like I said, I got Saturday. I'm gonna do my normal Saturday show, and then Sunday I'm gonna do a whole big all NFL, big NFL preview, division winners, playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions, everything, all next week, all from yours truly. So definitely check that out next week. And like I said, don't forget about the picks to pick up. I'm gonna put the information at the bottom of the screen again in the descriptions box if you want to go join that. Like I said, nobody's joined, so I think I'm gonna pull. Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna do any prizes then, because I don't think it's gonna be a big. I started thinking it ain't gonna be a big turnout, so that's fine. But I play it every year. I like to pick games every week, so. But you're welcome to join if you want, just for bragging rights. And I'll put the information at the bottom in the description box of the video. Of course, finally here, a big fight tomorrow night. Mayweather McGregor, finally here. All the hype is over, all the talk is over. It's finally time for the fight. Now I won't be watching the fight. I admit that I couldn't afford $100. But I really wish I did. If I had extra $100, I definitely would buy this fight. I want to see the fight so bad. It's a fight I really want to see. I ain't gonna lie. But I'm just gonna enjoy my weekend, spend time with my nieces. If I'm still up late at night, I'll probably watch the pre-fight shows and stuff, and see who won. I know they ain't gonna show a whole lot of highlights, but like I said, my final prediction, I just think Mayweather, he's the boxer, so. I think Mayweather gonna win. I think it's gonna go at least 6 to 7 rounds. I think it's either gonna be a stoppage or a knockout, even though Floyd ain't really knocked nobody out in almost 20 years. But I just think, by everything I've been hearing from experts, from boxing experts, from MMA experts, I think McGregor gonna come in aggressive. I think he might get frustrated, might, cheap shot Floyd or something, see if he can get in his head. But other than that, I don't see him winning this fight. I just think, every day I've been hearing you can't just step in the boxing ring just with a few months of training. You gotta pretty much live it and be trained for years to even be an average fighter. So on that alone, I just think Floyd, definitely he's been doing it for all his life. So I just think he's going to go in there and pick him apart. And I think McGregor get frustrated. He might. I just want to see him land some type of big punch. That'd be great, but I don't see McGregor winning this fight. So I got Floyd. I'll just pick my favorite number, 7th round knockout. That's my prediction for the fight. Like I say, if you're able to order it, I would, or if you was able to go somewhere and watch it, I would watch it. Definitely gonna be, I know some people say, well, it's gonna be a joke and all that. I mean, maybe so, but like I said, it's the spectacle and the hype. I mean, that's why I kind of want to see it. But never did hear there. I mean, like I said, I wish I had the money. I would buy the fight. Only why I'm not buying the fight because I don't have the money. But I definitely would like to see it. But I'll probably check out the prelims and the pre-fights and all that stuff. And like I said, if I'm still up, I'll probably watch the post-fight stuff, see who won and everything. So a lot of big, I'm just glad it's finally here. It's over with. a lot of stuff been said on both sides. I was watching a show not too long ago. The guy Paulie Malignaggi, the former champion in boxing, he was Conor McGregor's sparring partner. He had a lot of interesting things to say about, you know, how Conor boxes and stuff. And he basically said he just don't have the boxing discipline. It takes years to learn certain little things about boxing. So, like I said, if you are watching the fight or going somewhere to watch the fight, enjoy it. Have a big weekend. A lot of stuff going on. Like I said, fighters, of course, is a big thing. The Big Three tournament, I want to get that some love. I haven't talked about the Big Three a lot. Of course, everybody knows the Big Three. The Big Three tournament, 3-on-3, started by Ice Cube. Play a championship game tomorrow. Three-Hitter Monsters against Trilogy. Of course, Three-Hitter Monsters have Rashard Lewis, Sharif Madhu Rauf, who is 48 years old and still looks sharp. Trilogy is led by Al Harrington, Kenyon Martin, Rashad McCants. Like I said, that team, they rough and tough. I like the Trilogy team. If I had to pick a winner, I'd say Trilogy gonna win. They haven't lost. They won every week. They undefeated coming into the tournament, so I get it, but I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be like 50-47. It's gonna be like within 3-4 points. I think it's gonna be a rough and tough game. Probably some up and downs when both teams look a little dominant. But I'm looking forward to that. It's live tomorrow, I think at 4:30 Eastern time. So definitely check that out. I love the Big Three. I'm glad they said they already going to do it again next year, so I'm looking forward to that. So that's great. And like I said, another big sporting event to watch this weekend. Definitely check out the Big Three. So that's my show for this week. As far as my projects, of course, right now, as soon as I finish this video and edit it, I'm going to go pick up my copy of Madden 18. So probably try to do some type of video of that later on today. Still doing Sonic Mania. I gotta play Tails and Knuckles playthroughs, which I gotta get started on that. Of course, on the Uncharted Lost Legacy, I got a little bit further than that yesterday. I think I put up like 4 videos yesterday, so probably try to do about 1 at least today. That's it. So that's my immediate projects. Of course, this is the blog for the week. Of course, it's a little early because, like I said, I wanted to be free this weekend with my nieces, so I didn't want to have to record around them and stuff. So I wanted to do it, get it out the way this week. But I'll definitely be back next Saturday. I'll do another blog, of course. I touch on stuff that goes on during the week, and then the next day, Sunday. So I'm doing 2 next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Sunday will be the big NFL preview, and then Wednesday the 6th, I believe, I do a special blog on the opening game, which is the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots. I break down that game, give you my pick for the game and everything. So a short blog, of course, I start, and that'll be my first start doing the Wednesdays. I'll be doing the Wednesday every week after that. So check me out with that. And then I'll do my normal Saturday show, and I go through NFL games, because now that the NFL's back, start the blog will be a lot of NFL with it. So and just hope y'all have a good weekend. Like I said, thanks to everybody that watched. Really appreciate all the support as always. Enjoy your weekend, whatever you're gonna watch this weekend. If you're a sports fan, big weekend for everybody. No matter what sports you into, a lot of things going on. Wimbledon start. I mean, not Wimbledon. The U.S. Open tennis tournament starts Monday. So that lasts for about 2 weeks. So a lot of sports coming up. For September is right around the corner. So like I said, just want to say thanks to everybody once again. That'll do it. enjoy the rest of your week. Like I said, I'll be back Saturday with another vlog next week. Of course, if anything else happens in the NBA, of course, I have some more baseball stuff. I break down the fight, whatever I can get my hands on. I break that down. Of course, NFL preseason be over by then. So, yeah, definitely a big show next week as well. So, everyone, thank you. Have a good weekend. Thanks so much for watching. Solid Day Assassin. Of course, my name is Troy West. Thank you for watching. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy your day. Thank you so much.